a tweet like that said something like that feeling when your porno like spoils a major plot point for you.
What did it spoil for you, Sam?
Huh?
What did it spoil for you?
Fear the Walking Dead. I didn't know that the dad was dead. I'm so fucking mad.
I didn't either. Thanks a lot, Sam.
So it's everyone. Wow, weird words are hard.
Wow.
Everyone sucks here with Sam, Sushie, and AJ. We are here for a full episode.
Said I'm here.
She's half here. She's putting her face on right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a normal thing.
As the show goes on, I metamorphosize.
See, you don't really realize how long it takes Sushie to get her makeup on until we do a whole 5-hour recording day.
Yeah. And then at the end of it, she's like still like fucking. She's sitting there with one eyebrow or whatever. Like
One eyebrow.
I stop and I have to like talk and I stop for like 10, 15 minutes and then I go on a tangent.
My favorite was when you put one eyelash on and then went on a rant with the one eyelash on.
Yeah.
Flapping around in the breeze.
It's like I can't stop staring at it.
I don't blame you.
So we had a little bit of news on the minisode, and that's that we are concluding season 2 of Everyone Sucks Here. We will be taking a short hiatus, like from the 19th of July. We will be returning on the 2nd of August. So
you thought.
Yeah, 19th of July to the 2nd of August, we will be absent for basically just 2 weeks off. So we can all recuperate, take a little break, get some new stuff for the next season, season 3. We like to do this every like 6 months or so, just to give everybody needs a little creative break, a little time away
enjoy
from
the summer a little bit as much as we can.
Yeah, so we're going to be taking some time off. We are going to be doing some changes to the format of the podcast. Nothing bad, everything good. But basically, a big part of what we're going to be changing is we're going to be opening up the stories we talk about a little bit more. So as opposed to just doing like Am I the Assholes and relationships, and we've already been kind of mixing this in. Like we had Sushie do the Today I Fucked Up, and me and Sam have been doing the Ask Reddits and stuff. So we're going to just kind of open that up further. We're going to start doing all sorts of new things. I'm actually going to do one of them today, which is it's from a thread called Stories About Kevin. And that was actually so that was actually a suggestion from friend of the show, Omega. And so basically we want to open it up because I'm sure if you've been listening from day one, or you've been listening for the past however many months, you might have realized there is some of the Am I the Assholes and some of the relationships become a little formulaic. Like we want to have fun and we want to laugh and we want to joke, and we just don't want to have to hear about like a wedding over and over and over again. Like we're not like dropping them completely. We're still going to scour them and look for some good stuff, but like we need to mix it up too. We got to keep it funny for not only for you but for us too, because the podcast isn't supposed to be an angry podcast. It's supposed to be a funny podcast, and if you keep getting angry, then it's not funny anymore. So yeah, we're gonna open it up a little bit more. We'll have some more stories. We'll still have the Am I the Assholes, but we're just not gonna be like, if it comes down to the point where there's not a good one, then we'll fucking read something else. Like as opposed to like forcing ourselves to like, okay, well I couldn't find a good one because it's been a pandemic for 2 years and everybody's mad, and now they're gonna talk about everybody else being mad, and now we're mad and you're mad and everybody's mad. So
I do think that is part of the reason. I think there aren't a lot of different types of stories because there isn't a lot that people can do.
Yeah, like people aren't going to bars, and if they are going to bars, we're mad at them for going to bars because they shouldn't be.
Right.
So it's just like it's a thing where like if we open the stories up, and the whole idea of Everyone Sucks Here is that everyone sucks here. That's the whole point of the podcast. It's stories about people that are fucking stupid and funny and they suck. That's the whole point. So it can be any types of stories about that. So if you guys have stories you want to share, I mean, we've already done numerous listener stories that would fit into these categories that wouldn't be like, am I the asshole story? They're just stories. They're just good stories. So we're just opening it up. So that'll be season 3.
Honestly, if you have any ridiculous stories that you want to share with us, we definitely want to hear them. Because we're nosy.
That we should look into.
Yeah.
Or other subreddits that we should look into. What are some other subreddits that you guys really enjoy browsing through? What is your, like, what do they call it?
Guilty pleasure?
Yeah, guilty. What's your guilty pleasure? You know, even if you want to tell us about this ridiculous show or something that you see. Like I like to talk about garbage shows. Like Sushie, you have to have seen this Netflix trailer for
Animal Beasts or whatever.
Sexy Beasts.
Sexy Beasts?
Yes, it's literally these people who are
furries.
No,
but they do makeup to make them look like an animal, and the whole idea is like we're gonna see if true love can like spawn without you seeing what they look like.
Yeah.
So it's literally like a person sitting, like a bird person sitting with a beaver person.
Yeah.
They're furries.
Yeah, basically.
But
they're not wearing a suit.
But the thing is, like, this isn't their normal personality.
Yeah,
it's
they're
like,
not exactly. They don't live as a furry.
Yeah, they don't live as furries. They're just literally just sat down in costume with makeup on. Yeah, and the thing is, like, it would make more sense if these people were like fucking everyday Joes, but these are fucking attractive people, so you know they're gonna fucking like love each other anyway. So
yeah, it's always like they always say like fucking supermodels. Like, will you love me when my makeup's off? Well, yeah, you don't look like a fucking bird now, so probably like
the bird dolphin.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be my next guilty pleasure because I have to still see this ridiculous fucking shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
also, I'm sticking with the fucking Netflix thing too. Like, we watched a really good movie last night that had Margaret Cho in it and Eliza. Fuck, I always forget her last name. But
not Dushku.
It's not Dushku. And she wrote it. It's a mostly true story. It's called Good on Paper. I think you would really like it, Sushie. And basically what it is it is a mostly true story of what because they're both stand-up comedians. I love Margaret Cho to death. And it happened to Eliza, and she dated a man who basically lied about everything, lied about the school he went to, lied about where he was living, lied about how much money he was, lied about the job he had, lied about literally everything. She was in a relationship with him for an extended amount of time before it all unraveled.
What?
And like everybody, he was literally the dude that it was like a backwards catfish.
Yeah, like it's literally like he's charming and everybody loves him, but like he's also completely fake.
They called it cuddle fishing because he wormed his way in there and acted like a beta bitch.
Because the idea is that like basically beta male cuttlefish, like the ones that aren't like the fucking strong girthy ones, they'll pretend to be like female to attract the actual strong males. And then the little beta will slip in and go fuck a female cuttlefish while the strong males are out or whatever. And it's like they trick everybody into like worming their way in.
What?
So it's a whole thing with cuttlefish.
But I highly recommend it. It was a really good movie. It was a funny movie. She wrote the whole thing herself, and it's hilarious. And Margaret Cho is the best in it. I love her to death. But it's called Good on Paper. It's on Netflix right now. Please go watch it. Please tell me what you think, because I thought it was fucking hilarious.
But yeah, we if you guys have those stories or any subreddits you want to check out, like basically, and we have the Gilded is open up. It is poppin', gilded.gg/ everyone sucks here. The community is in there. They people are already talking about the stories that we've posted or episodes that have gone live. But like we have our own little personal secret area in there where we have a backlog of things that we're looking at and stuff too. So I will continue to add to that as well. If you guys want to post in there or send us emails at contacteveryonsuckshere.com, hit us up on Twitter, whatever the fuck you want. But basically the idea is just any types of stories that you want us to cover. Like even if it's a good, like, I mean, I literally have a story. I'm not going to read it, but it's, I might post it or have Sam post it on Twitter or whatever. It's literally from female dating strat pros. on
Oh my God.
on Reddit, right? It can be fucking anything. Just open this shit up because really it doesn't really fucking matter. We will talk about anything and we'll make anything we talk about funny, and regardless, there's always gonna be somebody in these stories that fucking sucks dick. So
also, you want to join the guild and you want to follow us on Twitter because we've been posting some Am I the Assholes and misconnections that we personally find, and we don't have time to go over them on the podcast. So you can get some extras.
Yeah.
Some extras.
Extra fun stuff.
Extra content by following us on Twitter and joining the Gilded. And I think I'm going to try and post them on Instagram as well because, I mean, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah. So that's our news. We'll we'll have so starting the 19th again, just a quick little thing. 19th to the 2nd, we are taking time off. You guys should too. Fucking take a break, take a breather, find some time to do it. But we're doing it those 2 weeks. That's when we're gonna take our break. We will be coming back on August 2nd with new content, and it's gonna be good stuff. And we'll probably have some new art or something to change it up like we did last time. So
Hey.
yeah, but I guess we could go ahead and get into our stories here.
Yeah.
Even though I said I was changing it up, I do have an Am I the Asshole.
That whole spiel was for absolutely nothing.
Well, it was to prepare. It's a slow transition because when we get to the end, you'll see
no,
my
make it fast. Make it fast. Make it fast. Make a fast transaction.
This one's just it's a it's stupid.
No
But this is also okay. So before I even read this is also a part of the reason why we were kind of thinking about opening up the format a little bit more, right? Because something that you all might not realize is that we find these stories ourselves, and to do that, we have to read a lot of fucking stories in our free time. And there's a lot of stories that you read, you're like, oh my God, there's just so much bad, and it's a lot of negativity that we read to find something funny. It's a lot. It's a lot of negativity that we're sitting there reading, and you don't always just want to put yourself through that. Sometimes you want to find something funny, but this is one of the negative ones. It's amusing in its own right, but this is the whole idea is listen, there's other things we could talk about.
Okay.
But am I the asshole for suggesting that my wife doesn't wear certain leggings out? You already know, but
let's find out.
Backstory. We live in a low-income area, and there are lots of skeevy dudes that hang out in the neighborhood by the liquor store and by the bus stop. They're probably waiting on the bus.
Right?
I always hated that idea of getting mad at people who wait at a bus stop because
they're trying to go somewhere.
What are they supposed to do? They're waiting on a bus. What are you doing here? Well, it's a bus stop.
Waiting for the bus.
I'm waiting for the bus.
Trying to go to the mall.
My wife, 26-year-old, works from home and likes to go for a daily walk to the convenience store a few blocks away for coffee and breakfast. She's always telling me how local guys give her lewd looks and sometimes make creepy comments while she's out walking. Yesterday, she called me from the convenience store and asked that I come pick her up as there was a creep driving slowly by her while staring. I work from home, so I didn't have an issue taking the 2-minute drive to get her. She asks me to do this roughly once a week. When she gets into the car, she tells me about the lewd looks that she gets, and I suggested that she not wear her TikTok leggings out in our neighborhood due to the rude guys that are always out. For those unaware, the TikTok leggings are the butt scrunch leggings designed to really show off one's
favorite.
Designed to really show off one's butt by scrunching up the back and going right up the butt crack, which I don't think it goes up the butt crack, right? It's just a seam that's there, so it looks like it is.
Yeah.
It's not actually, because I feel like that'd be uncomfortable.
It's not like a thong. It's not like that.
Yeah, it's literally just a seam, so it just defines it, but it's not She almost instantly says that is a misogynistic thing to say, and that she should be able to wear whatever she likes. I agree with her that she should be able to wear whatever she likes, but by wearing them, she's attracting unwanted attention. I tell her that the guys are pigs and they're assholes for making her feel this way. She tells me that she'd get hit on regardless of what she was wearing, so she might as well be comfortable. Are those comfortable?
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Anyways, it turned into an argument about how I was saying misogynistic things and how she was trying to educate me about how I sounded. I felt hurt because I thought I felt hurt because I felt as though my suggestion was meant to prevent her from feeling creeped out by the guys around us. Granted, I never said anything to the effect of me not allowing her to do it. I was genuinely trying to suggest an alternative to what she was wearing so that she would maybe garner less attention. She said that my opinion on the matter was not wanted and that I would never know what it was like to be a woman. Am I the asshole here?
Yes. Yeah, you literally blamed her for the creepy attention of men.
You're asking for it.
It literally, dude, it does not fucking matter what she wears. She could have been wearing a fucking parka to the convenience store, and some dude would have been fucking creepy about it.
That is very true.
And at this point in time, anybody with common sense would know that.
And that's the big thing too is, like, look at the time we live in, right? Yep. Like, and it's not like this has just been a thing like, oh man, this is fresh and new for me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not used to a time where women are equal. Like, I mean, what do you want? Like, it's fucking 2021. There wasn't just a fucking magic rule. Like, women can vote now, like this isn't fucking fresh. Right. So to be shocked and be so surprised and be like, I just don't get why she'd get mad at me for suggesting that. Well, because you're putting the blame on her now.
To her.
Yep.
Like,
yeah. Yep.
For existing.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, you were literally like, all you needed to do was go, hey, I'm sorry that happened to you. Get in the car. Let's go home. His
whole rationale here is, okay, obviously he does want to say something to make his wife feel better, but the problem here is that he immediately went to, well, I'm obviously attracted to you because, whatever, you're my wife, obviously, but just don't be as hot. But the thing that a lot of people don't understand is creepy men say creepy things no matter what. And the creepiest shit I've ever been told was when I looked the absolute worst ever.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
So, like, creepy people will do and say creepy things no matter what.
I almost wonder if it's like a weird thing where, like, if you look quote unquote worse or bad, they don't think you have the confidence to say something, like that sense of like, oh, she won't speak back because, whatever. But like, if you do your makeup and stuff, and they're going to be like, oh, they're less likely to say something in this weird fucking bullshit, like, but it's like, no, just some people just want to fucking be comfortable and not have to fucking get dressed up to go to Target. Like,
yeah. Right. Or to walk 2 minutes to the convenience store to get a coffee.
Yeah. Pet the bodega cat and go home.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Yeah, like, there, this dude's getting kind of reamed in the comments about, like, people like, why is anyone giving this guy the benefit of the doubt or whatever, right? I do think every moment can be like an educational moment. I don't think that I don't think everyone should have to be a teacher, but I think every moment can be an educational moment, if that makes sense. Okay. Like, nobody should have to teach. Like, she shouldn't have to teach them.
Yeah.
But, so with that, like, reading this, I can't read this guy's tone. I can't read what he's saying, or how he's saying it other than just the words that are written here, I think it's one of those things like, if he's just genuinely fucking ignorant and he accepts the asshole thing, like he accepts like the title of being an asshole, then he can move on from it and that's okay. Like I think these are the kind of moments here where you get called the asshole and you reflect on that and accept it and go, okay, I understand that, because I do think it's a little, I don't know, I guess I'm not trying to like fucking burn everybody at the stake for making fucking stupid mistakes, even though there's stupid mistakes even though you should know better, Like, yeah. I feel like if you can learn from a situation, you should be allowed to learn from it. But if he doubles down, then he's stupid.
Then there's
no hope.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
He seems to only equate misogynistic with, I I told you you're not allowed to do it.
Exactly.
That's not the same thing.
And because he said that, because what he said, he's like, I never said anything to the effect of not allowing her to, like, he's literally trying to say, like, he's trying to say, I'm not trying to control her, right? That's what he's trying to say here. He's basically saying, like, I'm not saying she can't do it. So I feel like with that mindset, he's like on the cusp. Like he almost has. Like you almost are there, dude. You just need a little.
He's almost getting it.
Yeah, you need to push over the edge to realize you're almost there. Like you're trying to not be an asshole. You still are, but you're trying to not be. But you need a little bit more work. And I think that's one of those things where, like, if you can get past that point, if you can reflect and understand why people are saying the things they're saying to you, and going, you know, man, this guy's have a lot of posts.
Oh, geez. A lot of reflecting, huh?
Well, these are different. Okay, I just got to read this here. Quick. He posted a comment on Straight Men of Reddit. How would you feel if the girl you were dating wanted to take an innocent shower with you? And he just said, my wife and I shower once a week. Not usually sexual, but let me tell you, the long shower hugs are the best. Oh. So, like... I was trying to get to his comments, just to see if he said anything that we can go off of. But Reddit's really dumb with the comments, because every time you hit like load more, it just doesn't. Forever. It either doesn't. Yeah, it either takes forever or doesn't load. But basically, what I'm getting at is, he's still an asshole, but like. I do hope that ends, because again, I mean,
look at this comment right here. Somebody was like, you're the asshole because it was the wrong time and place to do this. She asked you to pick her up because she was creeped out. He responded, I don't feel as though I'm making it about me. I am generally seeking third-party opinions so that I can be a better husband and partner. I don't think like someone who isn't willing to learn would say something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So like and that's why, like, I do feel like there's a quick like basis of like, let's just fucking light all these people on fire. But again, like, I know even from my fucking like teenage years, everybody is fucking ignorant at some point, you know, until you get that wake up call, until you
learn.
And and that wake up call is either you fucking you get the shit kicked out of you, or you lost a good friend, or whatever the fuck. Something happens, you get a wake up call. And hopefully this kind of situation here is his wake up call. So like, again, you can be an asshole, but you can be fucking redeemed. You know, I think that's kind of the big takeaway, is not just writing people off because they do something fucking stupid. Because guess what? Everybody is and has been an asshole at some point in time. Like, and made some fucking stupid statement about something and then learned from it or whatever the fuck. So, that was just kind of, I do appreciate the fact that looking at his comments, he's at least fucking trying, and he's literally saying, like, I'm not trying to defend myself. I'm literally, here's a story. Okay, and he's not, when people called him the asshole, he didn't buckle down, he didn't double down. So
it's good. I'll
say, yeah, you're the asshole, but it looks like he's a redeemable thing, and that's So kind of why I picked that too, is it's not, is an asshole label, but it wasn't an asshole human being, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was mine.
All right, so I might be getting into the asshole human beings.
Okay.
All right. So, just a little warning here. This is gonna have some big old racism in it. So,
heck.
Well, here we go.
I know.
Nothing new for 2021.
So one of the reasons why I did want to go over this one is also because there is a huge update. Like this person has updated and then updated more, and it is literally because of the internet. Like, their life has basically changed since this post.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Also, just as Sam said, like, there is like a content warning. It's racism against like specifically Asians. Mm-hmm. And I do think it's like the fact that this, like, right now with with this pandemic and everything, 100% needs to be fucking stated. Like, holy shit. Like, just stop. Like, stop blaming anybody. Stop blaming any Asian people for anything going on, period, with this, like, at all. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. It's fucking stupid. So, shouldn't need to be said, but holy fuck, dude. Yeah, anyway.
Okay. Am I the asshole for calling my sister-in-law a racist after she compared my cooking to, quote, making Kung Pao chicken.
What?
Okay. All right. So for context, I have been married to my wife for about 10 years. We're a mixed race couple. I'm Asian and she's Caucasian. I've gotten along with her family, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, but I always felt like her father-in-law and other sister-in-law, Sarah, never liked me. I am a professionally trained chef with 15 plus years of experience, and I work at a high-end Chinese restaurant. It's a spinoff of a popular one in Beijing in a large U.S. city. My crew and I have won several awards, and I've been explicitly told I'll be the next executive chef. Sarah is also a professionally trained chef and works at a popular upscale French restaurant in the city. She constantly brags about it and, no joke, compares herself out loud to Ramsay and Bourdain. The eye roll.
The eye roll from Sushie.
I love it. I love the eye roll.
We need a GIF. We need a GIF of the eye roll.
I know.
That can be. We need a GIF of the eye roll so we can have an animated emote for the fucking gilding.
Oh, there you go.
Anytime somebody says something, they get a Sushie eye roll.
Yep.
Just my eyes rolling back into my skull.
Right?
Yep.
And my face melting off.
Okay. So, whenever I'm at my mother-in-law and father-in-law's house and helping out in the kitchen, Sarah is always criticizing everything I do, whether it's chopping, braising, marinating, etc. She always butts in with comments like, I think you should actually do X like this. And I've been patient for my wife. I've been patient for my wife and sidestepping those comments, saying things like, thanks, but I don't think I'll stick to the way I do it. Things came to a head 2 weeks ago when my wife, father-in-law, mother-in-law, and I were in her parents' kitchen prepping dinner for my mother-in-law's birthday. We were running a bit behind, so things were heated, which I kind of liked because it reminded me of work, and that's when Sarah walked in. She took one look at what I was doing, scoffed, and said something like, oh, wow, okay, so that's not the right way of doing things. It hit a nerve, and I pretty sternly told her to stop criticizing my cooking and that I'm also a chef just like her. She laughed and said, making Kung Pao chicken at some Chinese restaurant doesn't count. The entire kitchen went silent. Father-in-law snorted, chuckled, and my mother-in-law yelled, Sarah, what is wrong with you? I stopped what I was doing, swore at her, and called her a racist piece of shit. I apologized to my mother-in-law for not being able to stay, and I left for home with my wife. Apparently, this caused a massive fight after we left, with my mother-in-law, brother-in-law, other sister-in-law taking my side, and my father-in-law and Sarah saying, it was a joke, but kind of true, and that I was being too sensitive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The extended family...
It's always the white people that say that the other people are being too sensitive.
How are you going to tell me, the person on the receiving end, what is or isn't offensive?
Yeah.
Or how seriously I should take it?
Yeah.
It's literally always the white people that are like, why are you mad that I said that? I don't understand. That's the problem. You don't understand.
So the extended family somehow got wind of this, and now everyone is arguing and taking sides, with my wife even getting texts from some of her cousins apologizing for Sarah's behavior. Despite being on my side, my wife is begging me to apologize, that the fighting will stop. So that the fighting will stop, but I refuse to because fuck Sarah and her blatant racism. Am I the asshole?
No. Nope. Apologize for what?
Okay, so one... fuck Sarah. 2, I'm bordering on saying fuck this wife if she's trying to say apologize.
Oh, no.
Because
the wife should 100% take her husband's side. There is no...
We've been through this before.
Just apologize and save face for what?
Yeah. I'm not saving face for a racist. Like...
Right. Why do we always have to make the racist feel comfortable? What's that about?
Yeah.
You know? How come it's always like...
But we gotta keep the peace.
Keep the peace of what? Like that shit came flying out of their mouth in 4K.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are we keeping the peace for?
And not that it needs to be said, right? Not that it needs to be said, but one, what would make Chinese food, which, okay, I'm no chef, I'm no cook. We all know that. I think it would be a hell of a lot harder for me to make Chinese food than any other food that I know how to make. Why is it? What is this weird thing about like, oh, it's Chinese, so it's
because
it's the
any
easiest.
type of ethnic food is considered like infantile in the eye of,
but I'm like, but
yes,
because I'm in that world, right? So
Yeah.
any type of ethnic food is not considered like high end. It's always considered like ghetto or not cuisine compared to something that's like of European.
And exactly, and it's like meanwhile the amount of ingredients and the fucking like half the time the amount of like especially like a high end place, the fresh shit that they got to get their hands on, like there's way more that goes into it that like man, you work at a French restaurant out here with your fucking stale bread. And
how many high end French restaurants are there? Like bitch, you can get a job anywhere. This man has been working so hard, and they've won so many awards at this high-end, nice Chinese restaurant.
Also, I'm gonna eat Chinese food before French food any day.
Right.
Like,
oh God, me too.
Any fucking day.
Oh my God.
Like,
okay, so
they don't even know. Does France even know what a spice is? I mean, come on, like,
They know a charcuterie board. They know a lot of that.
I know oregano, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so edit. My wife has also informed me that now Sarah may be in trouble at work, and she's blaming me for it. Apparently, one of her coworkers heard her rant about what happened. They reported it to management. Edit, to clarify, Sarah is blaming me, though my wife is partly blaming me.
So, okay. Your wife is blaming you because her racist sister complained about you at work? You
racist.
Fuck his wife too.
Okay.
Toss her in the fucking garbage.
Edit to update. It looks like one of my wife's cousins found this post, put it on Sarah's Facebook wall going, "This is you, right?" Her Facebook friends are starting to comment with things like, "If this is you, Sarah, then I'm disappointed. I think Sarah's still at work. Shit might be hitting the fan soon, and now my wife is pissed too. We'll try to update, but might have to delete post if things go nuclear."
Oh my God, there's so many updates.
There are a lot of updates.
Okay, I can't wait to fucking hear them.
This should have been our season finale. Holy shit.
Okay, so number 3 was considering removing, but I just got a voicemail from my father-in-law that my presence was only being tolerated up until this point, and threatened a, quote, world of hurt if I didn't delete this post. Officially going to keep this post up, and if you're still reading this, Doug, I'm very disappointed in you. You're better than this. We'll also continue to update, and thanks again for all your support, folks.
It's always the racist dad that wants to fucking make the threats.
I'm going to send you straight to the moon.
Yeah.
Okay, Chuck.
Your ass is grassing on the lawnmower. Okay.
Edit.
And overweight, okay? Stop.
Edit number 4. Lots of stuff just went down. 1, my wife got a call from sister-in-law. From wife's paraphrasing, Sarah started screaming, crying at her the moment my wife picked up and said that she just got demoted because of, quote, her Asian slur husband.
Oh, so she's adopting the full racist now.
Yeah.
I don't understand her thought process. These words came out of your fucking mouth, ma'am, and it could have ended at that, right? Whether or not they resolve the family issue, right?
Are you reaping what you sow?
It could have been left in that family kitchen. That's it. She decides to run her fucking racist mouth on the line in her place of work, and it's somehow his fault. Bitch, keep your trap shut.
Right?
If you're racist and you're fired, it's your fault. If you're racist and you're fired, it's your fault.
I don't understand. Like, no one told you to retell that story.
Yeah, like,
no one told you.
And then to go full racist afterwards.
Racist.
She said, "Fuck it, I'm going."
She said, "All right, well, cards off the table now." And it's like, well, so's your job, so.
Okay, so just got demoted because of her Asian slur husband. Apparently, some of her coworkers have her on Facebook. They showed the post to management, which combined with her earlier rant, double whammied her back to being a line cook, and now she might get fired. My wife told her to go fuck herself and is now solidly on my side after taking the verbal abuse from Sarah and reading some of the comments here. My wife is still the opposite of happy, though. Well, because your wife should have been on your side to begin with and stood up for you.
This shouldn't have been a question.
Yeah.
Of course she's not happy, but fuck her.
Ask your freaking minority partner as a white person to apologize to the person that was trying.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Number 2, wife called mother-in-law and asked her what the fuck was going on with father-in-law, because remember earlier he left a message. Mother-in-law was confused, so my wife played back the voicemail I had on my phone, and apparently my mother-in-law literally walked away from the phone without hanging up and started screaming at father-in-law. The Facebook post has now devolved into a clusterfuck flame war with family and friends jumping in. Suffice to say, it has officially gone nuclear. And he posts me right now, and it's literally a GIF of the scene in Pirates of the Caribbean when he's walking down the banister, and it's just exploding everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to have to call this a day. We'll make an update post when the dust settles. Thanks again, folks. But that is not all. That is not all. There is another chef update.
Okay.
And I haven't read this one yet. So I just saw that it was updated a couple of days ago. So here it is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. If you're racist and you're vocal, expect some blowback from the locals. If you're racist and you're fired, it's your fault.
I love it.
Okay, chef update. I'd like to clarify that I got my wife and mother-in-law's permissions to post this update out of respect for them and their privacy. Suffice to say, it's been kind of nuts this past week. My wife and I had to turn off all social media. I'm going to burp. Hang on.
Wow.
You were rubbing my back and it came up.
Like a baby now? Like a baby? Gotta put you on my shoulder and fucking burp you after you have your coffee? Hold on, Sam's had her morning coffee. Let me,
Oh, God, okay.
Wild.
Okay. My wife and I had to turn off social media for a bit because the shitstorm caused by her cousin putting my last post on Sarah's Facebook page. Some people even tried to call the restaurant I work at to get me fired as retribution, but luckily everyone there is 100% on my side, or as my boss put it, fuck Sarah, fuck those racists, fuck them so goddamn much. You got a good boss.
Yep.
I guess it didn't help them that half the calls involved threats, screaming, and more racial slurs.
they always do.
They always do. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we didn't hear any updates from her family, even though we assumed the shit met fan after mother-in-law found out about father-in-law's threatening voicemail. I'm still disappointed in you, Doug. But that changed on Sunday night when mother-in-law suddenly showed up at our door with overnight bags. After we took a moment to help unpack and calm down, she spilled the beans on everything. Okay, so it says in bold, father-in-law is AKA Doug. Apparently, my mother-in-law and father-in-law were already having trouble in their marriage. No shit. And it was only made worse with a certain 2016 presidential election. She's a Dem, and he had apparently gone more far right since then. Seems that a line was crossed with the Kung Pao incident and his voicemail. When he refused to apologize for anything, typical Doug, she asked for a divorce, and he went berserk, trashing the house, threatening to beat me up. She didn't feel safe there, so that's when she came over. Other brother-in-law and sister-in-law live out of town. Okay, so she couldn't go to her other kid's house.
Okay.
Extended. Okay, so this is another thing. Extended family, aka the Great Facebook War of 2021. I love this guy. You may have been able to tell already, but the extended family was largely arguing, fighting, divided along political lines for a few years now, and my cousin's Facebook post was likely just the light to set off the powder keg. According to my mother-in-law, the fallout has allegedly already led to some breakups, excommunication of some family members, and even one fist fight that ended with police involvement. I have not verified this myself, though. Can you imagine just this one? This is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
This one internet post this man made has just had so many dramatic things, life-changing things that have affected many people. Okay, so, which all in all is really all fucking Sarah's fault at the end of the day. Okay, so Sarah, sister-in-law. According to my mother-in-law, Sarah came over to her place on Friday. The writing was on the wall, and she was basically forced to quit. Despite her trying to start from scratch as a line cook, the entire staff turned against her. Nothing was coming back from the dish pit for her, and she was getting the cold shoulder.
The dish pit said fuck her.
Oh, fuck.
No, you're good.
Okay. The dish pit. Okay.
Dish pit, yeah.
Sarah's a great, she's a great chef. I will admit this is true, but they took no chances since it turns out, I shit you not, they're partly owned by a Chinese investment company.
Which
that doesn't surprise me.
I'm not surprised.
No one was surprised.
Yeah.
Found this hard to believe and didn't want to add this detail, but it turned out to be true after some research. I won't say anything further for privacy. Word also got around in the local industry, and Sarah is essentially blacklisted from high-end establishments.
I was about to say, she's fucking blackballed now. Like, she's...
She is now considering selling her home and moving to find work. As much as I don't like her and found her behavior horrifying, I did not intend for this to happen, so I've reached out to some buds in other states to see if they had any openings. Whether or not she wants to take it is up to her, and no, she has not apologized for anything either, but I still want to be a decent person to her.
I mean, who cares, dude? Like,
let her literally reap what she sowed.
Yeah. Because she's still fucking racist at the end of the day. And now you're going to go out and help her.
And here's the thing, too.
This whole, like, when they go low, go high, fuck out of here.
No, especially because, like, the thing is, people like this don't change.
No,
and I guarantee she'll gladly take... She would gladly take one of these jobs and still talk shit about him behind his back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if anything, it's going to damage his own reputation for
when she's a shitty cook.
For when she's shitty anyway. Yeah, like, so.
Yep. It sure as hell doesn't feel like a happy ending, perhaps bittersweet justice, but that's all I can give you. Thank you all for your support and for reading Still Me right now, which is the same gift. TLDR. Doug shot the bed. Mother-in-law chilling with us. Extended family now entering Cold War phase on Facebook. Sarah's career been sent to pasture, at least in this city and state.
Probably farther than that, honestly.
Fuck Sarah.
Yeah, fuck Sarah.
Oh my God.
And Doug. Fuck
and and Doug. Fuck him big time.
I don't even know what more to add to that because it was already so good. Like, I feel like. Yeah, I feel like we just experienced something that was really like...
That was like a whole movie.
Yeah. God.
A good post.
Damn. But you know what? I am always on board for hearing about a fucking racist that got their fucking comeuppance. Yeah, their comeuppance. Like, I want this shit to happen to every fucking racist. I don't give a fuck. The whole, like you said, go low, go high bullshit. No, fuck it, man. Like,
I'm going to the Earth's mantle.
Yeah, like, this shit is so out of hand. And again, fucking 2016 made everything fucking worse. Fucking 4 years of that bullshit made everything worse. Just emboldened all this shit. I don't know
if it made it worse. I think it made it harder to ignore the signs, because there's no way you can tell me that woman didn't know her husband was racist.
It made people more vocal, more
vocal about it, and less easy to like hide your feelings inside. There's no way I believe for a second that she legitimately didn't think her husband was racist in that entire time. There's got to be a conversation that they had, something came up, whatever. It was just harder for him to keep those thoughts in his head.
If Back in fucking 1920, you could be a fucking Democrat and marry a Republican because it wasn't like what it is today. But nowadays when they're like, I married this Republican, what? How? It's back when the fucking political issues were literally just like, okay, well, the Democrats believe we should have a 7% tax on food, while the Republicans believe we should have a 5% tax on fucking the cars. It's weird, like, shit that actually fucking mattered. Like, that's what people cared about. But now it's like, it's literally like, okay, so you're racist and you hate everyone and you hate women, or you're an all right person. So pick a side, I guess. Like,
oh, and who's surprised that Doug wanted to physically assault a woman? Who's surprised? Raise your hand.
right?
You know, like,
His wife.
No, he was threatening to beat her up or him up.
But he trashed the house. And
Oh
she
yeah,
left
you're right.
because-
You're right.
Because the Venn diagram's a fucking circle.
You're right.
Midna.
Midna said, "I'll fight him." Midna. She getting
Wants
start
to be on the show too,
She getting
and
a
I think she
stern talking
deserves her own
to.
podcast.
It would be called "I Hate the UPS Man,"
And I would listen every
and
week.
I can hear him down the street. I can sense that a fly is farting outside, and I must alert the humans.
Great job.
So I did want to touch on the fact that, like, let's like you guys were talking about just now. Let's talk about the fact that Doug was always like this. He didn't just become like that, right?
He didn't
And
become racist in 2016. He always was.
Yeah, and because Doug was always like that, Sarah became always like that. And it became, so I went back through to see if like he had any other things to really respond to. And the only thing he responded to really was he was replying to someone. And he says, she had a tendency to sneer or look disgusted at my food when I cook for my wife's family and has made comments about how she can't even tell what part of animals in this and has drunkenly asked me when my wife and I first started dating if, quote, Fido's on the menu where I work.
Oh,
and yes, I shut her down immediately for saying that. So this man has literally put up with this shit for 10 years, including however long they were dating for. And not only that, but the wife should have shut down that shit every single fucking time and told Sarah to go fuck herself.
Yeah.
Like, you are being incredibly racist right now. And
it's just a joke, Sam.
who the fuck are you? You work in a French restaurant. Are you just serving frogs all day? Like,
Right, it's fucking French food. Y'all eat snails. Shut the fuck up.
like, what is your point here? So, fuck you, Sarah.
Why is that less weird? Because it's white?
Yes.
That's it. There you go. Like, imagine being a professional chef. That's just so wild to me. Like, all the chefs that I know, like, I don't know. That's wild. Like, real chefs, they want to learn everything because you can take cooking techniques from from everywhere. It's just so weird.
But
like, where did you go?
Sushie, she's just like Ramsay and Bourdain.
I need to know.
You know, the two people who really, really love actual like Asian cuisine and talk very highly about it all the time. She's just like them.
The two people that literally travel the world and try other cultures' foods.
Yes. Yep.
Fucking hell.
What a fucking ride.
What a ride. What a racist ride.
That's not. I don't want to go on a racist ride.
Well, we're here. You know what? I just feel like that's so traumatizing to put himself through that for 10 years. I couldn't do that. I don't care how into someone I am. For me, where I am right now, just in life, I don't care how much I dig someone. If their family is saying shit like, is Fido on the menu or some fucking slick shit out of their mouth, first of all, I'm punching you. Second, I'm not putting myself through that emotional trauma.
Yeah.
It's like, it's too much. I'm not volunteering for that shit. So the fact that he is married and all, like, I couldn't do it. I can't do it. I won't do it. I'm tapping out. You know?
And that's just it. Is like the whole thing. It like they could have had a totally normal fucking relationship or marriage with her fucking racist family, not like with them. I'm saying like they exist. If she just literally put a stop to it from the very beginning, you know, like in the sense of like, and by put a stop to it, I mean like literally saying like, okay, you know what, my family's fucking terrible. Let's just not go over there anymore. You know, like, but I feel like this always ends up happening where like somebody, it's like, so like a fucking white person ends up with literally anyone that's not white. and then their fucking white family is racist, and they get like, oh, I'm just stuck between my husband and my racist family. It's like, no, you always pick the fucking spouse. You pick the husband, you pick the wife. It's not a hard decision to make.
Or your don't, but cut that tie immediately and like don't put your partner through that.
Exactly. Like it's fucking stupid. Like there shouldn't be a conflict of interest here when it comes to dealing with racism. Like there's no, it does like it. Okay, you know, like. Because you know what?
It's literally traumatizing. Yeah. You know, like.
Because like to turn a blind eye to it is just fucking.
You're no better.
You're no better.
You're no better, and you're enabling the whole thing. Like, you know what? We're gonna go to this family barbecue, but like my Uncle Tim, little racist. The N-word flies out of his mouth sometimes. But other than that, he's got a heart of gold. It's like, no, he's a fucking piece of shit. Yep. Why are you bringing me here?
Yep.
Why are you bringing? I don't want to be around Uncle Timmy. What?
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't do this to me. Like, what the fuck? Oh, you know, other than that, he's okay. No, he's
not. I think a big part of that is people are like we're still in this weird time where like we are like when you think about like the boomer generation and the greatest generation. Can we stop calling them that, by the way? They're fucking ignorant and stupid.
They're so terrible.
But regardless, those two generations, like, and pretty much everything prior, right? Like, it was still not nearly as normalized for fucking anybody to be, like, dating outside of their race, you know? Like, especially the greatest generation. Like, even, like, you know, like...
Yeah.
It's... So, like, we aren't that removed from it yet, you know? Like, and hopefully as fucking time, we won't see it in our timeline. It's going to be fucking at least fucking 3-4 generations from us. But hopefully in that time, the idea of, oh, you know, we just got to fucking, you know, it's just Uncle Tim won't exist because like the whole thing is like, as time goes on, more and more people get intermingled, more and more races get intermingled, and eventually you just won't be able to have a fucking weird little fucking racist because everybody's gonna have a little bit of something, you know, like.
Well, you're right.
But like, we're still so fucking close to the time frame where it was like illegal to literally marry a black person, you know, like that was literally a point in time where it was fucking illegal,
and it wasn't that long ago.
Exactly,
it wasn't that long ago.
There's people that are still very much fucking alive.
When you look at photographs from like Jim Crow and stuff, those people are alive still.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's...
And people don't, like, put it... They're like, oh, it's so long ago. It's like, no, those people are still alive. They're, like, 70, 80 years old. Like...
Yeah, and
they're still in charge.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, like, because that stuff is so relevant and so recent, that's why we still have fucking Uncle Racist Timmy that everybody first tolerates, because there just hasn't been... Like, it's so recent and it's fucking stupid. You know, like... Yeah. And on top of that, you know, like, there's so much of this shit that's still like in, you know, the whole ingrained in our fucking society with fucking like, oh, let's put up these Confederate statues and all this. I mean, Sam and I were literally looking at a map the other day, like just an actual fucking full on map that we saw at a wall somewhere, right? And there was some place in the middle of fucking nowhere, Washington, which it blows my mind how Washington, the state of Washington, the northernmost state in this fucking country, touching Canada, can have people that are fucking with Confederate flags, right? You weren't even you didn't even exist when the Confederacy existed.
Well, do you want to know what I learned about Washington and Oregon?
What was that?
That Washington and Oregon, they were founded, like they were started as basically like white HOAs. The whole state.
I heard something about like the Oregon like that originally. Yeah.
So like I don't know when they started opening up or desegregating, but it literally was like marketed as like a white safe haven that no brown folks were allowed.
Yeah.
So that is why there's like a lot of like Proud Boys and shit and there, even though like Portland and Seattle are like advertised as being very progressive, and they may very well be.
And that's why there's such conflict there too.
But like everywhere outside of the major cities, very much Proud Boy Central, because that's what it was founded on. And a lot of people don't know that. I've recently learned that in like the last year.
Well, and
when I think of Portland, I think of hippies and recycling and people riding unicycles, and I'm like, there's a lot of KKK members out there. That just seems weird, but
the thing is, like, what I was getting at with the map was when we were looking at the weird middle of nowhere places in Washington, there was literally a place called Jim Crow Hill. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, there's a place in Washington called like Jim Crow Hill. Like, what is this, right? But I remember there was a big thing. I remember when no joke, when I moved out here, I moved out here from Tampa, Florida, right?
Yeah.
I was looking up, and I'm originally from Cincinnati. So, like, if like Cincinnati, Ohio. So if you look up, like, the racial breakdown of these cities and these states, there is a just huge disparity between where I came from to here. Like, I forget what it was. I think it's like Tampa was it's like 7%, like 7% black or something, and like 14% like Cuban, like, or, pretty big breakdown of various ethnicities. Out here, it was like 1.2% black or something, and it was way smaller. And again, coming from Cincinnati, where it's like, again, like, I think like up like 10 or so percent, like, that's a huge fucking disparity. Like, I never would have known that until I looked that shit up and realized, like, what the like, again, because like you said, you think like Portland, you're just like, oh, it's like a fucking melding pot.
But then you forget that the rest of Oregon exists.
Exactly. And you forget that there's fucking like 8 counties in Oregon that are literally trying to secede into Idaho right now because they're more racist over there. And they're like, yeah, Idaho wants us because we love Trump. Like, they're literally trying to secede from fucking Oregon. And it's like, because they're racist. And it's like, it's insane to think about, like, how we're just not far enough fucking removed from all of this stuff in time for any of this to get fixed yet either, and it just gets worse, and it got worse these last 4 years. We just fucking took a huge nosedive in anything fucking progressive or fixing anything because dipshit out here fucking decided to ruin our country even more. But God, racists are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Yes, AJ.
So that's our educational experience there.
I hope you were educated.
Yeah. One of the things that we noticed was when we went on our little vacation in Washington, it was just across the river. So while we were like hanging out, we would like cross back over the bridge and come back into Oregon and like hang out in some places. And I literally was telling AJ, like, we came out of this town that had nothing but Confederate flags and like Trump flags on their porches and shit, right? We crossed the bridge, and as soon as you cross the bridge going back into Oregon, it's like nothing but rainbow flags.
Yeah.
And like, and it's almost like, I feel kind of like, I feel very unsafe, and then I'm like, oh, bring me back into Oregon. Like, bring me back. Bring me back into, let me get back across the river real quick, because I do not feel comfortable. But it's insane. Just the fact that it's just one town over.
It's so uncomfortable.
And I feel like I should really know that feeling too, because coming from the South is definitely like that. Yeah. From county to county, town to town, it's just insane. Like the what do they call them?
Downtowns?
No, not downtowns. But
it's
how dark are we going?
After they're a no sundown town or something like that. Yeah. Which is a new saying that I just, because I had to ask you what the fuck that meant, because I'd never heard it.
It means get out of town before the sun sets.
Before the sun sets, yeah. Also think it was from Lovecraft County. We were watching that. And
a lot of people learned about what sundown towns were because of Lovecraft Country, but they even exist up here.
Well, and the thing,
they're very real and they still exist.
Yeah.
What I find really weird, and it's like I don't understand it, is how, like, obviously there's racist people living everywhere, right? It doesn't matter if you're in the city or the country.
Correct.
However, it's the country that is primarily the fucking problem. You go in a city and it's like everyone's more accepting, and like, obviously it's issues, but it's the moment you go into the more rural areas is when people are more emboldened to just fucking, well, I'm gonna hang up my fucking Confederate flag out. And it's like what the fuck is it about, like, what the fuck is it about? Like, man, I like nature, but I don't like racists. I would love to be able to go out. I would love to leave the city and not have to deal with the racism. You know, like, not like,
No.
I'd love to be like, let me just drive out to the mountains without having to drive through a fucking slew of fucking Confederate flags before I get to a mountain. That would be really cool. But what is it about, like, you're outside
That's
the
where
city.
all the hillbillies are.
But that's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
hills.
But that's what I'm saying. Though,
Yeah,
like, what is it? Like, just because you're a fucking hillbilly doesn't automatically mean you're a fucking racist. But somehow it's like it does. You know, like you're out. Like it does, but doesn't. Like you can.
You are a product of your environment. So
Yeah.
if all the people and all the opinions that you're hearing are from the same 5 people you've ever fucking met in your life, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, what do you think it's going to be?
But then it's just like, it's insane because like you realize how many people live out in the middle of fucking nowhere, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and that's why you see.
They vote.
Yeah,
And they
exactly.
vote.
And they vote. You realize that's why you see so many fucking places turn red and you're like, what the fuck? Like, but it's everybody living in the middle of nowhere, don't live in the fucking city, you know? Like, it's just, oh God, it's fucking insane. Like, what a fuck. Okay, what are your layers of deception? Let's get off this topic.
I know. This is definitely something that we could go on and on
Yeah.
and on.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just stuff that unfortunately does have to be spoken about.
Well, especially when
as
we do a
often as
whole
possible
fucking
because-
thing about, you know, racism against Asians, like a whole topic about it. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, the more people are like, well, just don't talk about it, the more it keeps going on because no one fucking wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
You know?
it's just it sucks knowing that while moves can be made to fix things, it will not happen in our lifetime. You know, like it's just the roots are so deep that it's going to take numerous generations to get this shit weeded out. Like it's going to take. We're not going to see it, but we can at least see the change.
Very, very sad, but I'm just happy to be at the point where people are telling me that I'm not overreacting. Like more people are observing.
Right.
And I think it's in part because of the internet and everything, like everything can be documented. But like for, you know, up until even like the last 4 years, it was very like, it's just a joke. It's not that serious or whatever. And I think now other people are seeing how actually prevalent it is. And you know, it's less like you're being a drama queen or whatever. It's like, it's all day, every day.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to be at the point where people are acknowledging that racism does exist. It's not over. And people are real bold and brazen and say wild shit straight to your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know? So as sad as that is, I'm just happy that people are acknowledging that it is a real thing and does exist.
Yeah.
Time for layers of deception.
And on that note,
it is time for layers of deception, where I find 2 articles. One is real and one is fake. And I have Sam and AJ, you know, just try to figure it out. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. My first article headline is Senate passes bill wishing younger generations best of luck stopping climate change.
Not our
And
problem.
the second article is Royal Mail delivers letter addressed to woman in Cornwall shed.
I'm going to say the last one is the real one.
I'm going to say the last one's the real one too.
You guys are right.
Yeah.
You guys are right. An author has praised Royal Mail for delivering a letter despite the envelope omitting a town, street name, or postcode. The sender has addressed it to Katrina Davis, who lives in a quote-unquote shed near a village 21 miles away from Land's End. It went in to inform the postal workers that the outbuilding featured on BBC Two Simon Reeve Cornwall program. Miss Davies, who spells her first name with a C and an E in her surname, said it was a sterling effort. She lived in a shed, which was included in a segment on a travel documentarian Reeves BBC series for more than a decade. Miss Davies talked about affordable housing in Cornwall on the program and said the letter had been in support of her comments on the show. She said the letter was a lovely thing to receive in the post. It just makes you feel like maybe the world's smaller and more local than it feels sometimes. I guess it would get sent to Cornwall and then somebody would think, Land's End, I'll send it to Penzance, and then they must have seen seen somebody in the Penzance sorting office who went, yeah, I know where that is. It's just great. That's fucking stupid.
It was a very slow news day.
It was
very slow. But there's pictures and she literally lives in a shed. There's no address.
You know, you said this is the Royal Delivery Service or whatever, right?
And so it's the post service in England.
So
it's the Royal, yeah.
I'm not surprised by this only because I actually watched a show one time that was like entirely dedicated, like an episode. It's kind of like one of those like How It's Made type shows, but it was something like that. But it was for specifically their postal service and like the kind of shit that they do to get to make sure that fucking letters get delivered. Like everyone always talks about like the USPS, like the mail always goes through.
Oh, but they would throw this out.
Those fuckers in Europe, they like
Jesus.
Yeah. So
they are dedicated. Like because like one of them was literally like there was some house that was located on like out in the fucking middle of nowhere where like, you know, the guy has to drive his fucking little car and then he parks his car and then he literally gets on a fucking boat, like a rowboat, rows out to a fucking island and then has to like hike for like a mile and a half to deliver this letter to somebody. And he does like it's like a normal thing. Like they don't give a fuck. They will get your letters to you out there.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah. It's like it's fucking insane. Like they will go all over the fucking place.
I'm gonna post this so you guys can look at it. But like the envelope is wild. It says Miss Katrina Davis, which is what they were talking about in the article, because her name's spelt incorrectly. So it's already like
fucked up.
It's already fucked up. And then the address, like where the address line, it literally says, lives in a blue and green shed on a crossroad near a village 21 miles from Land's End, which I guess is a village or a town, as featured on BBC Two Simon Reeve Cornwall program.
Great. Now everybody knows where she lives.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, she lives in a fucking shed. There's a picture of said shed, and it is blue and green.
Where'd you post that?
Dedication that I don't have.
Where'd you post it at?
Oh, I'll post it right now. Okay.
Oh. Huh.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to post it in the Discord.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, hold on.
So yeah. The funny thing is, I feel like people give a lot of slack to postal workers in general, especially here. But like, dude, they fucking put in work, man. Like,
yeah, I would have thrown this out. I'm like, whoops, lost it. Sorry.
Yeah. Like that's some shit like fucking to Santa Claus North Pole fucking scribbled on it bullshit or whatever.
Yeah.
But, it's fine. We'll look at it later. It's fine. Let's move on to our actual stories. Okay. So I have something different today. This is a little tantalizing taste of what's going to be coming up in season 3. Maybe we'll see. Just something on the side. This is called. So this is from Stories About Kevin. So
what's a Kevin, AJ?
A Kevin is 1 second here. Where's the thing? Where's the thingy at? Now the description is gone. Well, I was gonna read you guys what a Kevin was, but basically a Kevin is someone who's just fucking ignorant.
Oh, look at the classic.
This isn't gonna show it either.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it shows it on my phone, but
weird.
Like, a Kevin is someone who's so like profoundly dumb that they just get classified as a Kevin. Like, it's just like if I saw one where a dude literally thought all plants were made of meat, right? So it's just like here we go. A Kevin is someone who consistently or greatly shows a complete lack of intelligence through incompetence of social and societal norms, or is purposefully antagonistic in their poor decision making. That is a Kevin. So this one is called Kevin Doesn't Know How Dogs Work. So for the most of the time with these stories, people are always, oh my god,
the handwriting.
I just saw the picture of what you sent, by the way. Holy shit. Anyway, most of the time when people tell these stories, they just rename the person Kevin. Whether it's a woman or a man, they just whomever they're talking about, they just call them Kevin.
Okay.
So. Kevin doesn't know how dogs work. My next door neighbors have 2 pit bull dogs. They're super cute and are giant teddy bears. Well, that is until you try to come on my porch or their porch and they don't know you. If that's the case, they will stand there barking their heads off, but ultimately they will do nothing. All bark, no bite, so to speak. So I was outside getting ready to start shoveling snow. Haven't shoveled snow in so long and I do not miss that. My husband was gathering the garbage to take out, and then he would be out to help. So I was shoveling what I could while waiting for him. I can't read today. So I was shoveling what I could while waiting for him. The dogs were out on their porch for a bit, and I was talking to them. Talking to the dogs?
Yeah, why not?
Saying their names, Duke and Princess.
No.
Some guy that does not live in the neighborhood was out for a walk, I guess. He stopped and asked me why I called them that. Okay.
What?
I said it's their names. He said, yes, but why did you name them that? I explained that they're not my dogs, that they're neighborhood dogs, that I just know their names from speaking to the neighbors. At that point, I started trying to look busy while cursing my husband under my breath for taking so long.
Right?
I'm nervous about talking to strangers during a pandemic. I glanced up and the man is still standing there looking at the dogs. I said they just bark, they can't get out, and even if they did, they're harmless. You're fine. The man said, well, this is so ridiculous. He pauses. I try to ignore. After a few seconds, he said, who the heck would name a pit bull Princess? I sighed and said, why not? I was thinking he was going to be one of those pit bull hating people that found it stupid for anyone to give it a nice name. But what he said, this grown man looked at me and said, but Princess is a girl's name. I was confused and I said, yeah, she's a girl. This full-grown man looked at me and laughed. Not a quick ha-ha kind of laugh, like a 30 or 40 second long laugh, and then dropped this bomb. Pit bulls can't be girls.
What?
I just said, what? He repeated this. I said, how do you think pit bull puppies are made? This man told me breeds weren't even made or even breeded. 2 dogs had babies, and their breed was assigned depending on things like gender, muscle mass, and other physical and personality characteristics. Pit bulls, Dobermans, Rottweilers, Labs, Retrievers, and some others are always boy dogs. Pomeranians, Poodles, Yorkies, and other small dogs were female. This man seemed to be older, so I'm guessing in his 50s. He seems sober and put together, but this man thinks a bunch of breeds are only male, and another bunch are female. I asked then, explain crossbreeds like Labradoodle and Puggles. What's a Puggle? A poodle and a pug? I guess.
I think
Probably.
He looked at me like my hair was on fire. I quit. I went inside and told my husband a crazy man is outside and we should just stay in for a bit.
I would not have been able to control the shape my face made while speaking to this man.
Oh my God. No, not at all.
I mean, everybody knows that all dogs are boys and all cats are girls.
I will have to admit,
that's what Disney taught me.
In front of the entire internet, I thought that as a child.
I think every child, because that's cartoons. That's what cartoons teach
Right.
you. Unless you watched Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, true.
Then you learn that all dogs are great and all cats are assholes. Same if you watched All Dogs Go to Heaven, you learned all dogs are great and all cats are assholes. In fact, all children's things always have cats being assholes. Unless you watch the Aristocrat Cats.
I'm so upset.
I'm gonna have to break it to Midna, my Rottweiler Chow mix, that she is in fact a boy.
Maybe that's
even though she's had puppies.
Or she's not a Rottweiler.
Right?
Maybe.
Oh, she a Rottweiler.
God. Maybe that's why she's so aggressive. She's not a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a tank.
I think that's why she's so aggressive, because she's a girl. Look at you two.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Look at you
Don't
two.
even look at me, AJ.
Stop talking, AJ.
So yeah, this was stories about Kevin. I'll probably be perusing this more often.
That was
so good.
It's literally just a bunch of stories about people who
Kevin, you fucking suck.
Yeah.
Don't talk to people on the street.
You know what really chaps my ass about this situation?
I don't like that phrase.
That man went home and told that story to someone else where he's right.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, you'll never believe the idiot lady that I bothered today.
The neighbor thinks their fucking pit bull's a girl. Idiot.
Oh my God. You fucking idiot.
What is this like? They're assigned their gender, or they're not their gender. No, he said based on their gender. They're assigned things based on their gender, muscle mass. This isn't fucking like the fucking Harry Potter sorting hat.
And personality characteristics is what he said.
What does that mean? Is there a puppy factory?
Yes.
Yeah,
and there's the two dogs that give birth.
They fucking put the fucking Harry Potter sorting hat on them, and they go, "Oh, put Pitbull."
What do you feel? You know what? You may be a Labradoodle.
Oh my God, this is the new Briggs-Myers test.
Also,
are you a Labradoodle or a Rottweiler?
That literally reminded me. I took a screenshot. I was going to post this on Twitter later. I might still but I saw some bullshit the other day. It was an article posted, like, you know, like when you go to Google, you see the articles in the bottom. Like one of them was from fucking Screen Crush, and they were like, the whole article was Community. You know, the great show Community. Community characters sorted in their Harry Potter households.
God, I saw that one too.
And I took a screenshot, and I was so fucking angry because, one, can we stop with the Harry Potter household sorting shit and leave my community alone? Just leave it alone.
Leave my community alone.
Leave it the fuck alone, all right? Community is perfect as it is. Don't try to fucking sort this shit into Harry Potter things. This all akens back to people who make fucking Harry Potter their whole personality. And
especially now.
Especially
How
now.
do you still have Harry Potter as your whole personality now? If anyone doesn't know what that means, the author is a TERF.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
So
too, yeah.
if you're like, what is she talking about? She's a bigot. She's a very loud bigot.
And she probably thinks all pit bulls are boys.
My favorite part about this is that she tried to cancel Stephen King, and Stephen King was like, I don't give a fuck. He was like, I got run over by a car in 1999. I don't give a shit.
I don't care about you, Miss Rowling.
I mean, yeah. So she's pretty fucking terrible.
Damn. Well, mine is not as funny as that, but I thought it was funny because when I really thought about somebody sitting down and doing this and what I would say, my boyfriend sends me emails summarizing arguments we have had.
Okay.
So now I'm kind of wishing I had a Kevin story, but this one's just as good. So she's 22, he's 21. We've been dating for 15 months. You've been dating for a year and a half.
I feel like if you can count the months.
You're not a toddler. Just say you've been dating for a year and a half.
For 84 months.
Like, if you're still like saying months, I don't want to hear about your relationship.
We've been dating for 15 months. We don't fight a lot, but we have had, I think, 4 major arguments. And there's a question mark after it. After we talked about it and sorted the issue out, he will mail a long email about what happened, why it happened, his point of view, my point of view, and what we agreed on to do. I don't mind. Honestly, I think it has helped our relationship, and I think one of the emails he sent me is one of the sweetest things anyone has ever sent me.
You're dating an HR rep?
It feels like documenting our fights, and I don't know why he feels the need to do that. Does he not think I'm trustworthy? I don't flake, and I know he's reliable. I've asked him about this, and he deflected, apologized that it was a weird thing to do, but to humor him. I don't know how to deal with this. Is it a big deal? I don't want to talk to people I know about this, as I think they will find it weird, and I don't think he wants anyone to know about it either. It frustrates me why I can't get to the bottom of this. So, he's just note-taking the entire time, and then he's like, all right, so this was the problem. All right, this is like the business meeting. This is the problem. This is the solutions that were given. This was my point of view. This was her point of view. It was wrong, so I'm going to write this and what we're going to do about it.
So he sounds like he's this weird, like, fucking hybrid between, like, corporate HR, fucking a courtroom stenographer, and, like, a therapist. You know, like, he's just like this, like, fucking the holy evil Trinity. Trinity.
Oh my God.
The holy evil trinity of just like these like three amalgamations of like weird people. And I don't know how I'd feel about that. Like getting notes like. Do you think he like addresses the email like per my last email?
Oh God.
I fucking hope so.
So I'm conflicted on the OP right off the bat because it's like she's like, honestly, I don't mind it too much, but then goes into another paragraph of why it bothers her, and it's like, which one is it? Which one is it? God damn it! Oh,
I hear a creepy ice cream truck outside.
my God!
I don't know if that's
Ooh, get creepy ice cream.
This is the creepy ice cream van. You don't want to get ice cream from it. And it's got no labels on it. It's just a white van that drives around playing ice cream music.
So what bothers me the most is one, OP doesn't know what the fuck she wants, but also when she asks him, why are you doing this? He just deflects and goes, don't worry, just humor me. Just let me send my fucked up emails. Like, why are you sending me an email? Also,
who are you BCCing on this?
Why can't this be a Google Doc where she can like edit it too? Because what if he's like, oh, this is her point of view. That wasn't my point of view at all. I mean, it starts a whole other argument, you know?
No, you're right. Who is he BCCing? Or like whenever he's done with it, is he just going to pull up all the emails and be like, as per our email chain?
You're right.
What is the purpose of this?
I need clarification. You need to tell me why you're like, if you need to like process this, that's fine. Keep it as a creepy note on your laptop. Why are you emailing me about it? We talked about it. I was at the meeting. Like, I know what we argued about. I was there arguing the whole time too.
Yeah, I don't know where to go for this one. Like, I mean, 4 arguments in the course of a year and a half. I mean, I guess it's somewhat normal. I don't fucking know. I don't really know.
I think we won't know if it's normal or not.
I almost wonder if she only knows the number because he's keeping track. Because who can really say the number, too?
You think it's titled like argument number 4?
Yeah, like.
In the subject headline?
Like, you think it's gonna hit critical mass when they hit like 10? He's like, so. He's like in the time frame. Like, okay, well,
right. Like, what is
10 would be
right, AJ? Like, what is he keeping it for?
He sits her down. He's like, you see, 10 would be an acceptable number if we'd been dating for 84 months. However, we've only been dating for 26 months, and therefore 10 falls just out of the range
too high for
of
me.
acceptable.
No, you're right. Like, that has to be it.
Like, what could be the reasoning being besides like just like this weird fucking pseudo psychotic documentation?
If he's recording that, what else is he recording?
Right.
Are you jotting down like every time like you guys have like had sex? Like, and he's like tallying up a bunch of shit. Those,
have you seen like the Reddit or whatever post where someone like psychotically jots down every time they were turned down from sex from their partner? Have you seen those? And like the reasons given. You've never seen those? I've seen those like on Reddit or like on Facebook or whatever. It would be like a guy that like documents every time his partner says, no, I don't want to engage in sexual activity and all the reasons why and like how many times a month. So I fucking bet you he like keeps a list in his phone or something.
This just literally reminds me of the movie we watched the other day where she literally said, you haven't been inside his apartment, but he's been inside you.
Good old Margaret show. Yeah, so that one was mine.
This guy sounds like a psychopath. Like
if you eat
this sounds like he has to do this because he has to keep up the idea of being like normal, so he has to have like some sort of reflective notes going, okay, I was supposed to be upset during this time, so I need to reflect back at these arguments to figure out to channel how to be
like
human.
Masking a personality.
I want to know if when he writes down her point of view, if it's correct.
Right.
Or if it's just what he assumed happened.
Yeah.
You know? And
why
during
is he documenting this?
During these 4 arguments, question mark.
I want to know who's in the wrong and who's in the right.
Who was right when he wrote it down?
Leak these emails. Leak these emails.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Apparently there's been no update as far as I can tell, but you never know. You never know. You never know.
I know these things.
I think that's still a good one, though. I mean, it's creepy and weird, but leak these emails.
It's something.
Leak 'em.
It's something.
So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed our little antics here and our, a little dip into some Kevin stories. We will have some more next week. Next week will be our final week before the break, I believe. Let me double check real quick, but I'm pretty sure next week will be our final week before the break. Yes, next week will be our final week before the break. And then we'll be taking 2 weeks off, have our little break, come back with season 3. And yeah, I think that's all we got. Oh, if you have stories or let us know,
Yes.
hit us up in the gilded.gg/everyone sucks here. Let us know what you think about the Kevin stories. Let us know what you think about everything. Come join us and chat with us. Hang out with us.
Send us ridiculous ass stories. We want to hear it all. We want to hear about crazy shit. We want to hear about funny shit. Anything. You can submit it in the Gilded. You can submit it to our email. You can DM it on Twitter if you want. We'll fucking read it.
Yeah,
we're nosy.
Yeah.
And don't forget to please rate and like and retweet
and
all
do
the
everything.
things.
Share this with your friends. Listen in the car, and then go. And then don't even let them ask what it is. Be like, oh yeah, by the way, we're listening to Everyone Sucks here with Sam, Sushie, and AJ. So let them know. Listen in the car with your friends. Force them to listen. Okay, we got to go. Sam is bouncing in her chair.
I got pee so bad.
So we're gonna cut it here, and we will catch you guys next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.